The Boys Season 3, Episode 5 just released, and we are so excited to talk to you guys about it. What is up, everybody? We are the Jersey Comic Crew. We hope you're having a fantastic day, and this is your spoiler warning. Chris, we're going to talk about all the details of the episode, the nitty-gritties, and the wild ride that The Boys continues to be with each and new every episode.
Yeah.
Now, before we get into Soldier Boy and all the crazy stuff that's happening in Vought, I want to focus a little bit about our favorite couple / not a couple, Kimiko and Frenchie, right?
Of course you do, Rob.
Yes. Well, look, last we saw Kimiko, she was dying.
Yeah,
we
absolutely.
We didn't know she was going to make it, and then she's in the hospital. They're actually doing operations on her, saving her life. And she realizes that she's not healing as fast. She doesn't feel as strong. She realizes her powers aren't there anymore. So we're not sure yet if this is temporary or permanent, the loss of her powers. But nevertheless, Kimiko is very happy that she has the chance to live a normal life for however long it may be.
Yeah, I love the way they did that scene too, where like she starts smiling.
Yeah.
Because she can't pick up something heavy. I thought that was really well done. I love the musical that went on in her head. It reminded me of like Scrubs, the musical, where they're all in the hospital and everyone's dancing. And then we get your moment, Rob. They kissed. She finally kissed him.
She smooched him.
And Frenchie leaves to go get a coffee because he's like, I don't know how to feel right now. And Nina, of course, has to ruin everything.
Oh,
Damn it,
my
Nina.
God.
And take him because she wants to force him to kill some guy and a child and a little girl.
When I was watching this episode and the kiss happened, I was watching with Heather. Heather's like, Frenchie, don't you hurt my Kimiko. Don't you walk out. I was like, listen, he's very emotionally overcharged. He needs to go get a coffee. He's obviously very happy, and he's going to get back. And when we're watching him walk out to get the coffee, I'm like, oh, good. Okay. He's not going to leave her. That's fine. It's a new chapter in the relationship. It's going to be great. And then he gets kidnapped. I was like, this bitch is worse than Homelander. Why would you ruin this?
You're not good with flow of shows, are you, man? Like, it's the second that phone call was ignored, I was like, this is not going to end well.
I know.
The second he ignored her.
They've been dropping hints about a happily ever after forever. And that's like heartwarming and also heart-wrenching because I'm like, okay, they're either going to have it or it's not. There's no middle ground. There's no ambiguity. That's how the show's going to work. And him getting captured and Kimiko, obviously, like I said, is going to walk out, try to find him, see what's going on. She almost started talking. She made her first sound. It's like the spark of something that can be beautiful and joyous. So I think they're going to have the happily ever after. I think the show's going to give us that. I think other major characters are going to die, but this B plot of Kimiko, Frenchie, will they, won't they thing is going to happen. But the greater issue is, will she get her powers back? And like, will Frenchie actually kill for Nina to pay off this debt? Because Nina is just so upset with Frenchie and just wants her. I think it's going to get to a point where Kimiko's going to get forced again to make a decision of whether or not she wants her powers. I think she's going to go find Frenchie and realize that, like, hey, I need to take V, or I need to have my powers to get the man that I love. And then instead of like hating her powers, she's going to accept them for who they are. Because the whole powers and V conversation, like Butcher mentioned it before, V just brings more of you out. Like when you're drinking, it brings more of you out. So I think Kimiko is finally going to understand, like, the powers are not evil. It's going to allow her to be herself fully. She's going to get the powers, be enough to save Frenchie, you know, essentially flipping the damsel in distress metaphor on its axis.
And the dame.
Yeah, and she's going to go rescue her man, and then they're going to go live in, like, Hawaii or something and be happy.
So I don't think she's going to get her powers back by taking V. I think that's kind of what started her when she was a kid, and she was kind of dealing with that her whole life. I think the attack by Soldier Boy, which I don't think was malicious, I think it was something that will be temporary, will like wear off after a while.
Yeah.
I'm guessing that's part of that new thing that he has going for him. So now it's going to be, is Kimiko going to be able to be that happy Kimiko we saw when she realized she didn't have the powers, but with those powers, and just not be like Butcher wants her to be, right? The bullet in the gun, the guided missile, and somehow be okay with that and still be okay with Frenchie like that, because it clearly seemed that she was holding back those feelings for him because of her powers and the weight that she's had on her because of those powers. So I wonder if that's going to be the case, because she's going to obviously go after him and possibly kill Nina with a dildo or something else that she can grab.
Only time will tell. We've been talking about Soldier Boy's attacking Kimiko, but we got to talk about Soldier Boy's attack in New York City.
Yeah,
he listens to Russian music and then he loses his mind, destroys a building, kills like 30 people. This man is unhinged.
Yeah, it's nuts, because now we have this big question, right, Rob, of is this kind of a trigger for him where if he hears Russian music, or do we know if it's just Russian people talking in Russian? Like, is that it? What is the trigger for this blast?
It seems like PTSD.
That too, and obviously we in the beginning of the episode we saw Mother's Milk watching that torture video basically of how they kind of, tested him and added things to him. They were shooting a machine gun in his mouth and all this crazy stuff to see how durable he was. I don't think obviously that blast was something he originally had, right? We saw the flashbacks. That wasn't something he was using, but we also saw later on when he finally gets the Crimson Countess, Rob, he uses that blast and it seemed like he controlled it and there was no Russian music, no speaking going on. So where are we in the spectrum with him where it's a trigger and or he can now control it, or is he just a fast learner?
I think it's an unfortunate situation of it's both. It's having your cake and eating it too. It's one, he can control this ability because he's a soup. He walks around. I mean, Huey says when he took V, he just knew how to do it instinctively. So I think superpowers.
He clenched his butt or whatever.
Yeah, whatever he explained it. I think it's just one of those things. Once you have it, you instinctively, your body knows how to use it and activate it. But I think the attack in New York, much like the attack of Kimiko, the trigger responses to PTSD. Like you said, we saw him get tortured, annihilated, all this different kind of stuff. You hear the music, and then, I mean, he's been like frozen and attested, and like he's been in the stew for God knows how many years. Yeah. So his mind is definitely not straight either. So hearing all this made him just lash out and freak out. What I thought was really interesting, I guess, to say about that was the fact that Butcher kind of like just served her up on a platter, like tied her down to a chair and allowed him just to melt and obliterate her because she didn't save him. She hated him. She didn't love him. She didn't even do it for money, which I thought was one of the coldest things ever. I was like, oh, they didn't even pay you. You just left him there. Like, he's done. Goodbye. Like, you didn't think this would come back to get you? And by the way, Seth Rogen doing
amazing.
Doing the porn with them.
Thank you for bringing it up. Thank you for bringing it up. The Seth Rogen scene and the legend scene. Paul Reiser's everywhere right now. Stranger Things. Now he's here. Love that character as well. Basically used to be the guy who controlled all the Vought heroes before it got corporate and knows all the secrets. So like Soulja Boy's back in his suit. Jensen Ackles made his greatest like deep voice impression. I'd love to see him and The Witcher go at it and Henry Cavill just speak in deep baritones. But he comes in and he's a broken man still, right? He finds out that his girlfriend, who he even says to her, the whole time I thought you were going to save me. That's what kept me going. I thought you were going to come get me. And to find out that she basically was the one who shipped him off and was like, I hated you. We all hated you. Clear parallels to Homelander.
Yes.
We see this guy just obliterate her. And to answer your question, Rob, yes, we know where Butcher stands on this, right? He said it earlier. All of them need to go. Every single superhero needs to go, which, as we know, Maeve is a soup helping them. Annie is a soup and Huey's girlfriend and helping them. It's going to be a crazy like shit show going forward.
I think by the time we have to worry about Maeve and Starlight being killed by Butcher, it's like all the other guys are dead. And like they're the last ones left. I don't even think we need to worry about them being in danger by Butcher. But I do think we need to worry about Huey and the rest of, I guess, the Vought people being in danger by Butcher, because Butcher made this deal with Soulja Boy, and I don't know if it's actually going to pan out, right? It's like they want to do a team up, which I was great that he used that verbiage. Yep. And they're like, all right, we want to kill Homelander. I don't know if Soulja Boy even cares about Homelander, but from Homelander's point of view, it seems like Homelander's worried that Soulja Boy is here, and he knows that it's Soulja Boy. Yeah. And I don't know what kind of interconnection they have there. And also, Soulja Boy doesn't age just like Stormfront, so obviously there's some other Vought thing going on here. Yeah. I'm sure there's more secrets that we don't know that are going to get revealed soon. And I think that's moving us forward. The Boys is doing a very good job, but like, here's crazy messed up action scenes. Here's crazy messed up death. But like, all the secrets is why you keep staying tuned. And I want to know this Soulja Boy Homelander connection that's obviously there.
There's a huge connection there, and there's a huge connection in the comics that I will not spoil for you guys.
Oh, okay. So there is one.
There is definitely a connection between Soulja Boy and Homelander.
Okay.
And who knows, we may get some of that on the next episode, which is the island. Get ready.
So do you
hold your Bibles and rosaries, people?
Do you think we're gonna find out their connection in this season?
I do. Okay. I think this is the Soulja Boy season. It's gonna be interesting to see how they almost get Soulja Boy to do this for them, right? Because without Soulja Boy, there is no plan for Homelander.
Correct.
Whether it's killing him with that blast or depowering Homelander with that blast and then killing him, that's their only option at this point. So that is the biggest question. How do you control Soldier Boy to get you to do, plan A here? This is the target.
I don't know. Maybe there's just so many moving parts.
Take him to the island. That's how you get to control him.
Switching gears from Soldier Boy back to like the people at Vault. A lot of things are happening, a lot of moving parts.
Yeah.
Homelander's in charge, has no idea what's going on, and he's getting upset that people are challenging him.
Yep.
The Deep's there, fires all of the back office people because he wants yes men, and then obviously he's a mouthpiece. There's a big issue with Maeve and Homelander, but before we talk about Maeve and Homelander, I want to talk about A-Train. Because A-Train, this episode, I loved A-Train in this episode, but this whole episode of the racism in the superhero community with this guy, Blue Hawk, Blue Falcon, or Blue Balls, whatever you want to call him, right? And
I like Blue Balls.
He comes in, he's coming into the center, right? Like the youth center or the community center, and he's giving this apology that he's basically just bullshitting. And A-Train's there, and he knows that. Like, he's listening. He's like, all right, whatever. At least you're just getting through it. That's fine. Like, it's not good, but we're just going to get forward. And, like, you can tell, even with that, he's like, all right, I have to readdress this later. And he's just reading off the piece of paper. And then the toxicity starts coming out of Blue Hawk's mouth about blacks killing more people than everybody else. They're going back and forth. The community is like, what about this guy? You killed him. He was unarmed. All this kind of stuff, which you knew was going to get brought up here. Mm-hmm. And you knew this back and forth. And then Blue Hawk assaulted his brother. His brother might not walk again. He started attacking all this innocent people. So now A-Train has to realize, okay, I can't be Michael Jordan anymore, to use this analogy. I have to be Malcolm X. I have to be a voice for the black people in America. And he's a soup doing it, which I think is fantastic. I think that's the section in The Boys. They need to hit home more. And I just can't wait to see A-Train evolve into this kind of character that's for the people and not be a villain corporate shell.
I'm very interested in what he does, because I don't necessarily think A-Train's going to be this Malcolm X character in The Boys. I think
he's going to fight for it?
I do, but for selfish reasons.
Okay.
And the reason is this, because since season 1, A-Train, as we know, has been the douchebag, right? He kills Huey's original girlfriend, which starts the show. He's just trying to get away with murder 24/7. The corporate shill of a commercial last episode. And now, even while Blue Hawk's there doing that BS statement, which wasn't even trying, like he's doing the like, all right, whatever, blah, 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 get this over with so I can go home. He's still kind of saying like, okay, blah, 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 like I'm just doing this because I'm a corporate shill, right? It was his idea. It was A-Train's idea to be like, if you make an apology, like, really? So I think now that his brother is paralyzed because he's collateral damage, where this guy freaks the hell out and is, throwing people and he kills, like, it's nuts. Now he has to act because it's his brother. I don't know if he would act if it wasn't his brother. If it was just the other people that got hurt and it wasn't his brother, I don't know if he does anything. And I think the underlying fear is what we know of his medical condition, right? He doesn't know if he runs, will his heart explode? So how is he going to be able to do that? Or will he just chance it and die for a cause that makes him a martyr? I don't know, but I love this angle because you're taking this character who was very singular focused and you're making it complex. And whether it's doing the wrong things for the right reasons, the right things for the wrong reasons, he is now in that total like circle of conflict where he is forced to act. And I love that. I want to see more of this.
So I think it's a very smart plot point and storyline that they're doing in The Boys that allows this one character that we hated to kind of come full circle to see, oh, soups are bad or can be very bad, and maybe I can be the one to bring change about it, which is really cool. But getting back to Maeve, where we're saying all the other characters are changing opinion because it's forced because of battle, Maeve is in serious danger. Homelander knows that she had something to do with Soldier Boy coming in, and then Black Noir kidnaps her, takes her away.
Dude, Black Noir scared the hell out of me, but that was a great scene. And yeah, Maeve comes in, Homelander gives her the whole spiel about like, oh, I think it was you, and brings up their relationship again, which a part of me thinks that he does kind of care about it, or maybe it's just because she hooked up with Butcher and he's just pissed about that. Because she's like, I smell him on you, and I'm like, how? Like, how is this? He can do everything. So
I believe it though.
Making him more terror, I believe it too. But she is there, and she, you think she's gonna kind of comply like Ashley, like Starlight, kind of just bow their head and just keep going, and she's like doing the same thing that we saw Crimson Countess do. No, I hated you the whole time we were together.
She doubled down.
So I think, Rob, she is on the island right now that we will see in the next episode titled Herogasm. You heard that correctly. Don't look it up. Don't spoil yourselves. Be grossed out, aroused, and disgusted when it happens, people. Trust me. And I think that's where they took her. I do think she is alive.
Okay.
But I think she is now out of the fight. She is not going to be able to be counted on. And the other thing that I think not a lot of people are thinking about, Rob, is when their temporary V runs out, they're not going to have someone to get it back to them. So they are on a clock too.
I know they have a new supply. They have a baggie full. I don't know how many's in the bag. But you're right. The supplier is out. And I don't know if she's out for just this episode or a couple episodes for the rest of the season. I don't know what's happening on the island. She might be going on a bender. We know she's an addict.
Yeah.
We know she broke it and that she had sex with a butcher. Maybe they're just going to keep pushing her and make her lose her mind. Maybe we find out Black Noir is a double agent and he's like, I know this is going to happen. I'm going to be feeding you water. It's not a thing. Everybody hates him. I'm with you because Black Noir needs some kind of storyline and plot point to do something.
Yeah, absolutely.
That'd be really cool. I don't know, but I'm excited to see this next episode.
Me too, man. And if you read the comics, you kind of know what's going to happen. If you haven't read the comics, I implore you, do not spoil yourselves.
Yeah,
stay off of social media. Stay off of everything. Obviously, we'll be reviewing it here. We'll put a spoiler tag. This is going to be the craziest, grossest, horniest,
oh my gosh,
nuts episode of superheroes we've ever seen. I am really interested to see how far Amazon goes because in the book, it is actually disgusting and it's drawn. So if you thought Glenn getting his head smashed in Walking Dead was bad, this is 20 times crazier. And guys, thank you so much for watching. Give us a thumbs up, really helps the channel out a lot. If you are new, subscribe, turn on notifications. You do not want to miss our review of next week's episode. I promise you it's going to be insane. And if you missed anything, it's right here on the channel for you always. And as always, I'm Chris. That is Rob. We're the Jersey Comic Crew, and we will see you next time.